やあ、覚悟はいいか。行くぜ、血液勝負。行くよ、後ろの少年だ。あれトルメンタでメンタスでシエラブリーチブレイブソース。
Alright, what is going on, you guys? This is your buddy Death Smasher, and welcome back to yet another Bleach Brave Souls video. And today we are back again with another Who Is Better comparison video. And today we are going to be comparing the brand new Spirits Are Forever with You Beyond Bankai Shunsui Kyoraku with the legendary Daddy Ichigo, who is still by far one of the best mind characters that we actually have in this game today, and I don't think this guy is getting replaced anytime soon until we get, per se, a unit that has Frenzy +2 that happens to be better than this character. But anyways, why compare these two units? Well, for starters, they're both mind characters, and secondly, they both share the exact same killer, being Soul Reaper killer. One is ranged, one is melee, similar to how we're comparing Noel and Daddy Ichigo, except this time around, it is slightly different. That's all I'm gonna say. It is quite different this time around, since this guy does not have a sharpshooter, which is a bit unfortunate, but he still does have a guard break with Frenzy, a good berserker, and he also comes along with the link slot potion skill. So at the end of the day, even if Daddy Ichigo is the better character, you will still be able to use this character just fine for Inheritance Zone. But anyways, let's just start off by taking a look at Daddy Ichigo, since he did come before Shunsui. So this character, still one of the best Soul Reaper killers that we have for Mind, and is also a Captain killer, so you can use him for Captain Week as well. Very good unit. And that being said, mine is Max Transcendent 5 out of 5. But you know, guys, that's not an issue for when it comes to comparing him with Shunsui, because all I just gotta do is just remove the SP slot, the focus slot, and the attack slot. So that way, I basically have an even level of comparison for when it comes to, you know, comparing these two units. And there you go. Just like that, he is now comparable between Shunsui. Yeah, sure, he has more stamina and defense, but literally that's irrelevant. So yeah, strong attack recharge time of -12%. And yeah, he has no status elements on any of his attacks, but his second strong attack does come armed with a boost, and his special also has a slight chance of being able to insta-kill with his special. And he also comes with a good amount of innate skills, being Read Soul Reaper dodges. Now before, this skill was pretty much irrelevant, but for when it came to pretty much using this in Arena, this guy counters Aizen, so he's still perfectly good to go in Arena. He is immune to weakening and paralysis, very, very good. Also has a Berserker of 60%, 40% Bruiser, damage reduction, which in my opinion it's still a throwaway skill if you ask me. Mine is T20 with full stamina damage boost and weakened defense, but for that, don't worry guys, we'll just use off-color links. Havoc at 20%, Frenzy +1, and Bombardment +1. Obviously, I don't even know if we'll even get units with Bombardment +2. Like, imagine, like, Bombardment is already broken enough as is. And the fact that he has Bombardment means that he has an even easier time of not being able to just nuke with a special, but also having a higher chance of being able to inflict insta-kill, which is pretty nice, especially if you guys don't happen to have him duped up. And yeah, Enhancer, Sprinter +2, and a Marauder, which is basically Guard Break plus Nullify melee resistance all together into one skill. Still by far one of the most broken characters that we have in the game, period, and I would actually argue to say that he's the third best character in the game, right behind Artbook Ichigo and Aizen obviously being number 1. And then we have the Spirits Are Forever with You Shunsui, who just came out not too long ago. Mine is 1 out of 5 with level 10 SP, which is alright, we can compare him. Now this time around, the soul trait, he does have strong attack recharge time of -14%, which is actually pretty good, because at worst, you can use him as an actual link. And second, his cooldowns are going to be coming back a lot faster compared to Daddy Ichigo's for when it comes to using the strong attacks. And in terms of overall kit, he has weakening on everything this time around, and also has the insta-kill mechanic on the special, and he has the charge SA3 on his third strong attack, which is actually pretty good. And the innate skills, he has Enervator, which is basically going to allow him to inflict weakening every 5 seconds, has weaken immunity, and Sprinter +1 on his innate skills. The 6-star skills, he has 20% Bruiser, 40% Berserker, Devastation at 14%, Mine is T15 with full stamina damage boost, just so you guys know. And he does come with the increased heart link slot potion skill. So yeah, basically the second mind character to get the link slot potion skill. If you guys don't have Kisuke, you guys can still use them, even though if you guys have Kisuke, you kind of don't really need the Shunsui, other than the fact that you want to do fast runs. Havoc at 20%, Frenzy +1, Debilitator plus 5 seconds, and Guard Break. Now, the only unfortunate thing, in my opinion, is the fact that he does not have Nullify ranged resistance or Sharpshooter in this case, but even then, he still does have the Link Slot Potion skill to make up for that fact that he's not going to be as insane as Daddy Ichigo. And he still has Guard Break, so he is going to be still hitting remarkably hard with the strong attacks, and it's just basically going to be negating every single enemies that have ranged guard, which is actually pretty good. Now, we're going to be running both of them in Inheritance Zone, and the way of how we're going to build them up is that both Shunsui and Daddy Ichigo will get the Badge, Pill, and T-Set combo, but the links are going to be off-color hybrid recharge strong attack damage links, so that way we can pretty much even out the playing field, since Daddy Ichigo is T20 while Shunsui is T15, so obviously there is going to be a major difference for when it comes to talking about the stat boosts and whatnot. So yeah, that's just basically how we're gonna go on with the comparison. So yeah, let us move on to the runs and see how well both of these characters perform. Well, those were the runs. Both of the units did extremely well in clearing fast, but at the end of the day, the clear winner is Daddy Ichigo since he won by 5 seconds. And now, let us talk about the kits and compare them. Funny enough, both characters have a very different kit from each other. Daddy Ichigo has the standard 3000 length beam we're all familiar with, the 960 in front on SA2, but it being a boost means having to wait a good 20 seconds before using it again, and the third strong attack is full screen 1200 radius. Shunsui, on the other hand, he does have the 3000 length beam, but it's not the same attack as Ichigo's. Shunsui has the same SA1 as 6th Annie Aizen, so instead of being an 870 width, it has a 1020 width, giving Shunsui an upper hand with having more range. SA2 is a homing vortex, and unfortunately, it's not the same SA2 as Byakuya and Aizen, where it's a 960 into homing vortex. It's literally just the homing vortex where it stun locks enemies and gets to the next wave of mobs. That being said, it is better than a regular homing vortex, but at that point, the 960 would have been preferable. SA3 on the other hand, it's the same one as 5th Annie Ichigo, where it's an AoE distance charge attack where upon fully charging it, it becomes 1080 radius and you can aim the strong attack in your favor. Without the charge, it's 840 radius. Now, let us move on to the pros and cons for both of the characters. Starting it off with Ichigo's pros, Marauder. Pretty much the main highlight of him. He can nullify melee resistance, which makes him a GOAT in extreme co-op and guild quests, as well as having guard break, meaning that you can consistently hit every mob without losing out on damage against enemies that have melee guard. Bombardment. Do you have him 1 out of 5 or 2 out of 5? Guess what? Giving him attention tie, as well as giving him weakened defense upon getting him to T15, means that you can still nuke an entire room in co-op, meaning that you don't necessarily need the 5 out of 5 for fast runs. Sprinter plus 2. That's also basically what allows him to clear faster than Shunsui. Having 3 flash steps can never go wrong, and if you want to give him long stride, it's never a terrible option to do so, as it means you can flash step across the entire map just fine. Better SA2. I think this is pretty much self-explanatory. While you may need to wait 20 seconds to use it again, it's still a lot better than Shunsui's Vortex since you wipe out multiple waves of mobs with just a single strong attack, on top of being able to boost yourself and your teammates for a good 20 seconds. Daddy Ichigo is still very strong to this day, even after being out for only a good 8+ months. But that being said, he does come with his own problems, so here are his cons. None. Yeah, no cons, there's nothing I can give him. Okay, I lied. Chill guys, gotta add in some comedy every now and then. Now for real, here are his cons. Doesn't have the Length's Opponent skill. Okay, sure, you can make a statement that you can carry Kisuke's and Shunsui's while clearing out the whole room in IZ, but you're never gonna get the benefit of having ×4 bonuses in a room in Inheritance Zone. We need Link Slot potions more than ever thanks to the T20 Link Slot levels, and honestly, you're better off using Kisuke and Shunsui over Daddy Ichigo any day, especially when ×2 IZ is on. Elongated cooldown on SA2. Now, I already did state that Daddy Ichigo has a better SA2 than Shunsui, but even then, in general as a whole, having to wait 20 seconds for it every damn time does start to become hella annoying. If it weren't for that, Daddy Ichigo would basically be the perfect unit for mine for eternity until the day we get a unit with Frenzy plus 2. Still one of the top 2 best mine units in the game easily, no cap. Now, let us move on to Shunsui. Starting it off with his pros, better SA1 and SA3. I don't have much to say about this because it's basically true, but I'll at least talk about the SA3. Sure, the 1200 radius SA3 is still one of the best strong attacks for an SA3 any day, but you always need to be placed in the middle of the map to activate it surrounded by mobs. Now because Shunsui has an aimable charged SA3, the fact that you can aim your SA3 in literally any direction is its strong point, and not to mention, it being a charged SA3 easily means that you're going to be doing a lot more damage than Ichigo. The radius may be off by a good 120 radius, but when you can easily control an SA3 to your liking, it's just that damn good. Will it slow down the run? Maybe by a bit, but you can still use it efficiently well if you know how to use it properly. Link Slot Potion skill. This type of pro is what is mainly going to separate the competition from Daddy Ichigo and more so serve as a strong point for him. The fact that Shunsui has the Link Slot Potion skill means that you will want to use this character a lot in Inheritance Zone for when it comes to manual play and getting the best amount of pots. Faster cooldown on essays. Shunsui has 14% strong attack recharge on his soul trait, so you can stack it up to a maximum of 56% strong attack recharge and get the most out of his strong attacks. Innervator skill. Thanks to this, Shunsui has a good chance of being able to proc weakening against enemies every 5 seconds even without attacking. So for things such as IT where you want to be able to inflict status ailments, whether you're attacking or not, he's definitely going to be very good to use in there. I know I took a bit of time to explain the pros, but these are still strong ones nonetheless. amazing character, but does have a bit more problems, so let's get into the cons. SA2 holds him back. The only merit I'm going to give to his second Tron attack is how you basically have a higher chance of inflicting weakening, you have a much shorter cooldown where you can basically activate it every 8 seconds, and also makes him somewhat of a safer unit to use for when it comes to stun locking the enemies. But for when it comes to taking out the enemies, I'm sorry to say this, but the strong attack sucks. It's still better than a crawling vortex, but even then, that's barely anything to the point that even a breath style vortex would have been better on him. And that's saying a lot because breath style vortexes aren't the best for doing damage, like they suck too, but even then that's still better. No sharpshooter. He may have guard break, which is already insane in and of itself, but not being able to nullify ranged resistance doesn't really put him on par with Daddy Ichigo and Noelle. He can only be used in ranged Soul Reaper week of GQ and nothing else, and even then, there is just better units to use over Shunsui, which is just sad to say the least. Does less damage than Ichigo. Pretty much a given con, not much to say when Ichigo has the boost plus 60% Berserker versus 40% Berserker with no boost. Now the answer was obvious from the start of the video, but the video still needed to be a thing. The clear winner is Daddy Ichigo, since he just has everything that a SP unit needs to basically be one of the best characters in the game, despite the small flaws that the character has, which even then, it's very minimal. But even then, Shunsui is not a character to be slept on. He can still clear just as fast and will still be able to perform just well as most other SP-based Soul Reaper killers, and is just better compared to most other Soul Reaper killers without Havoc, like Fierce Battle Ichigo for instance. And even then, he still has his own use, being a Link Slot Potion character, and that is something that Shunsui will always have as an advantage over Daddy Ichigo and Noelle, since you want to use them to farm Link Slot Potions, especially if you intend to do fast runs and don't like autoing with Keyescape. And for IT, I will say that he is still very good to use, even if Ichigo outperforms him in terms of DPS. He still enters the top 5 best mind characters with ease, and if you don't happen to have either Noelle or Ichigo, he's definitely an amazing unit to have. And that ends the comparison between Shunsui and Daddy Ichigo. Now, if you guys have actually enjoyed this video, do not forget to smash that like button, share this video with your friends and family, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already, and hit the bell notification so that way you guys are up to date with my most recent videos. And there won't be any more Who Is Better videos planned for like until a good while from now. Now, you guys can actually post in the comment section ideas of what I should do next, and I'll see if I can possibly do them, because again, I do like making these types of videos, even though it does take a good while to make. But yeah, that being said, do let me know in the comment section below of what you guys would like to see next as my next comparison video. So yeah, this has been your boy the Death Smasher, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Peace out, lads.